Hello friends! Today I'm going to be reviewing the Kindle Paperwhite. This is the newest version that came out in late 2018. This specific version has 8 gigabytes of RAM and is ad supported, though they have a version without ads that sells for a little bit more. The Kindle Paperwhite retails for $129 US, though it is frequently on sale for like 50% off. So if you're going to buy this, I would recommend waiting until you see one of those sales unless you need it immediately. Amazon's Kindle line uses e-ink technology, and so for our purposes, that results in 3 benefits. So firstly, it makes the Kindle screen look more like a book. It also has the added benefit that it decreases power consumption, which makes the battery last for weeks as opposed to the days that many tablets last. The e-ink technology also makes it so that this screen is readable in various light conditions. That combined with the screen that has like minimal glare compared to tablets at least, makes it easier to read this, say on a bright day or like in the middle of the night. The Kindle Paperwhite specifically has a 300 ppi display, so the image is sharper than the normal Kindle. It's waterproof, so you can take it to pools and beaches and stuff, if we ever get to do those things again. It's front lit and its screen is flush, so that little gap that you would normally see between the screen and the top of the device is less visible. Okay, so let's talk about accessibility features. So the Kindle Paperwhite has a standard array of accessibility features. It lets you change font size, so as big or as small as you want. It lets you change the font's type, and it lets you change the weight, so you can make it as bold as you'd like or as thin as you'd like. It also allows you to control line spacing, margin width, and it lets you control the orientation of the device. So you can turn it sideways and read like this with bigger fonts, and you can see more of the text. The Kindle Paperwhite also allows you to listen to audiobooks using a Bluetooth device. You can either listen to them standalone, or they also have a read-along feature so that you can read the text along with the audiobook narration. It also comes with a built-in screen reader, so you can use that to navigate the device and to read if you don't want to purchase the audiobook. Finally, when it comes to accessibility, it also lets you inverse the colors. And this inverts the actual colors on the text. It's not just a dark mode, which is useful. So, what advantage does the Kindle Paperwhite have over, say, physical books or even, using another tablet? I would say the biggest advantage that this has is its convenience. So, compared to a regular book, it is significantly lighter and smaller, so that makes it easier to carry around and hold like you would hold a book. So, compared to, say, this iPad mini, you can see that it's significantly smaller. So it would be easier to, say, hold this one-handed than it would be, say, to hold this one-handed, even though this is a pretty light device too. Same with physical books. And you don't have the added, hassle of having to, turn pages and such. I think that's a very, very big advantage. Another one is that you get access to Amazon's entire digital book library. Think what you will of them, but Amazon has a large array of books, all of which you can get at your fingertips. Instead of waiting for them to get shipped or going to a bookstore, you can read them without much effort. You also don't need to use Amazon if you don't want to. A lot of the books that I read digitally, I read through Libby, an app that the public library here in the United States has that allows you to check out digital books and read them on any device that has them. They also have a feature that lets you send those books to your Kindle and read them there. The Kindle also lets you sideload your books, so you could connect it to, say, a computer and upload any of the books that you might have on your other devices onto here. Another benefit is that it makes highlighting and taking notes just as easy, if not easier, than if you were using a physical book. So one of the reasons that I like to use physical books, even though my vision isn't the best, is that it's easier to take notes in them. So this lets you highlight and take notes just like you would in any other book, and it stores them all in a separate file. So even if you don't have the book anymore, you can look back at your highlights and your notes, which is a useful feature. Another advantage that the Kindle has is that you can use it in a wider array of lighting conditions. So this is especially beneficial if you're going outside. So my visual impairment makes it so that I'm a bit light sensitive. The fact that this has a screen that has far less glare than, say, this iPad makes it far easier to read outside or in spaces with bright light than my tablet or my phone. So I can finally do some outdoor reading and the glare won't bother me. So looking at accessibility reasons specifically, being able to make the text on this device larger or bolder has made reading books, like using my eyes, significantly easier than like a physical book. It's made my reading faster. It's taken away, I don't have to strain as much to read like I do when I read physical books. This is especially true with manga. I enjoy reading manga a lot, but manga sizes are not particularly large. Like, for instance, this manga is about the size, just a teensy bit bigger than the Kindle Paperwhite. And so the text in it is not particularly large. So I have to, as much as I enjoy the art in this, and I do read physical manga sometimes, it's harder, especially if the text in a particular section is small. But with this, I can zoom in and see the art and the text. Specifically for the Kindle Paperwhite, because it has a higher resolution display, I don't lose much of the detail in the art. Another advantage is the read-along feature. As I stated earlier, the Kindle lets you download audiobooks from Audible onto here. And so you can listen to your books instead of reading them. You can also get the physical version and read along using the audiobook, or just listen to the screen reader, which can be helpful in helping you keep track of where you are in the book and not wander. So looking at disadvantages though, I'd say one of the biggest ones is because of the same e-ink technology that saves you battery life and has other advantages, it makes the screen slow to change, which can be annoying for some people. And it seems like it has to warm up a bit and the speed will increase, but if you leave it there to sit on the screen, it will take a bit longer to change than, say, a normal tablet. This can particularly be pronounced in when you're reading manga or comics, so be warned. Another disadvantage I would think is that it doesn't so much lock you into the Amazon ecosystem, but if you're buying ebooks from them, you are kind of locked in that you can't easily transfer those ebooks to say another e-reader. That's a disadvantage. Though Amazon does let you download ebooks from the library and from your own computer, so you don't necessarily have to purchase from them. This is a bit of a nitpick, but this form factor is, especially the back. The back is a matte material, and if you're not careful, it can get scratched up. So I would recommend a case. The Amazon ones are a bit pricey, so I got this one on Amazon from a third-party seller for $10. It works. It's nice. I'll leave the link below if you're interested. Dang, it was upside down. Sorry about that. But I'll leave the link to this below if you're interested in this case. I do recommend the case, though. This won't get scratchy. Another big disadvantage that I would think is that it doesn't have a headphone jack. So if you don't have Bluetooth headphones, you won't be able to listen to the audiobooks. And going off of that, when it comes to accessibility, you can't set this up by yourself, which is kind of annoying. You're gonna have, if you can't see the screen very well, you're gonna have to have a friend or family member come and turn on VoiceOver. There's no way to turn it on when you're setting up the device, which I would love to see Amazon improve. You also run into the issue of, if the Bluetooth headphones aren't connected, you can't hear the VoiceOver, which can be problematic since it doesn't have a physical audio jack. So, as nice and sleek as this is, it could benefit from having a physical audio jack for accessibility reasons, I think. And that makes it harder to use this device if you really can't see the display. So, here are my final thoughts. I think the Kindle Paperwhite is a great reading device, though I don't think that it's for everybody. I think that it would be a good device for somebody who reads a lot of books and is maybe looking to not have them cluttering up their house, or just looking for a way to be able to read more without having to carry all of these books. When you can't read normal print very easily, what they tend to do is they bring out the large print books. For me at least, that made me read slower. This lets me have the large print with a small form factor, which is beneficial. And the no glare screen and the easy readability in bright conditions is worth it for me. That being said, Amazon also has a Kindle app that you can put on any other device that you happen to own. So if you have a tablet or even a phone, you can use all of the same accessibility features and make the text larger, and you don't have to buy an additional device. If you don't need or require the anti-glare screen or the lighter form factor. Basically, it's not something that you need, but it's nice to have, especially if you have a visual impairment. Comparing this to the normal Kindle though, I think that if you don't need the extra bells and whistles like the sharper display or the waterproofing or the flush screen, then the basic Kindle model will be just fine. So would I recommend this over another e-reader, like say the base Kindle? I don't think so, unless you fall into very specific use cases. So the base Kindle has a 167 ppi display compared to the Kindle Paperwhite's 300 ppi display. It also has the base Kindle also doesn't have the waterproofing that the Kindle Paperwhite has. It doesn't have the flush screen that the Kindle Paperwhite has, and that's about it. Other than that, it has the same front light, it has the same glare-free screen. It's a tad thicker, but it works exactly the same and has exactly the same regular features and accessibility features. So, for most people, I think that the base Kindle is fine. There are exceptions though. If you're like me and read a lot of manga, I think you would really benefit from the higher resolution screen that the Kindle Paperwhite has. It'll make the art in the manga or the comics look much, much better than they would on the baseline Kindle. Also, if you're the kind of person that likes to go out to areas where your Kindle might get wet, this is probably a better choice for you than the base Kindle. And if you just don't like the look of the screen being separated from the top panel, then this would also be a good choice for you. It looks sleeker than the base Kindle, and if that's important to you, then you should get the Paperwhite over the base one. Overall, I think it's a nice device to have. You don't necessarily need it, but it can be very beneficial. That's all I have to say about this. If you can't tell, I do highly recommend this, especially if you have a visual impairment. It makes reading significantly easier, and it's made my reading life significantly easier. That's all, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!